Oh look, yet another YouTuber saying that Goldeneye has finally been released for the Switch. Since everybody's talking about this, I'm gonna put my own little spin on it. First, a brief little history lesson as to why such a release is actually quite important. As well as playing the game on hardware most people would have played the original on. So then, why has this game basically been put on this gigantic pedestal? Now let's just check the stats real quickly. This is the third best-selling Nintendo 64 game, right behind Mario Kart and Super Mario 64. And if that doesn't really impress you, this was also at a time period where movie-based tie-in games were just awful. And being released 2 years after the movie, a lot of people were expecting this game to suck. However, just the idea that we're talking about it now proves that it did not suck. It rocked. In its genre, it was really the first game that really made people realize that maybe first-person shooters can be done on a home console. At this time, it was mostly just dominated by PC that were all just kind of running their own Doom clones. This game, however, changed up the formula. Instead of trying to hunt for that one key to get to the door to finish the level, you actually have to complete a series of objectives in order for you to actually beat the level, making it very unique for the time. And because of its massive success, it became a standard try to beat. And it was still held in quite a high esteem many years later. Like Time Splitters 2, which is kind of ironic as some of the members that worked on Goldeneye and Perfect Dark also worked on Time Splitters. But there's a rather interesting quote here. Heir apparent to Goldeneye. From 1997 to 2002, Goldeneye was still being talked about and is still a standard that the first-person shooters live by. Later, EA would try to ride the very name of Goldeneye to produce their next game, Goldeneye Rogue Agent, which, other than the title and Xenia being in it, there is virtually no connection between the two. Really, the main reason it's called Goldeneye is because that's what the main player has. An eye that's gold-colored. In 2006, enter the Wii with its Wii Shop channel, as well as all its virtual console releases. This was the way to try to be able to introduce GoldenEye to an entire new generation of gamers, and also to make it more accessible, because at this point, the only real way to be able to play the game was on the console. Emulators were still kind of in its infancy state at that point and weren't really the best quite yet. We waited in anticipation for that Wii Shop channel release, but it never happened. However, there was some good news on the horizon. Instead of having the original release, there'd be two releases coinciding with each other. One for the Wii, and the other for the Xbox 360, which after seeing leaked footage of both, gamers were excited at the prospect of being able to play both of them. However, for, shall I just say reasons, because this is a topic for a whole nother video, the Xbox 360 version was cancelled, and all we got was the Wii version. This is the cover I made for it, because this is so much what I wanted this to be. But what we actually got instead for the Wii was the Call of Duty game wearing James Bond clothes. So basically, you can only carry up to 3 weapons, you can't dual-wield any of them, you got regenerating health. Well, that part is a little contentious because there is a classic mode with a health bar, but the game was definitely not designed to be played this way. Levels often took upwards of a half hour, and that's even when you knew what you were doing. And the main reason behind that is because of inch-by-inch gameplay. Now, what do I mean when I say that? Basically, you walk an inch, a guard pelts you with bullets until you get that famous bloody screen, then you have to wait behind a wall, suck your thumb for 30 seconds in order for the pain to stop, get back up, and repeat until you get to the very end of the level. Now, I know I'm definitely bagging a lot on GoldenEye Wii, but I do actually like this game. As a first-person shooter, it's a lot of fun on the Wii, given all the fun accessories that you can use with it. But as a Bond game, it sucks. Not only did it basically destroy any legacy that was left in Goldeneye, but it threw out all the years of innovation of James Bond games just for the sake of being a Call of Duty clone. Like, seriously? No bots for multiplayer? Perfect Dark was able to do that on the same console the original Goldeneye was released for. There's just no excuse that this modern release couldn't have bot support. And this game was kind of the beginning of the end, really. After that, there were only 2 other official Bond games ever released. You got 007 Bloodstone, which I have still yet to find, and 007 Legends. It's kind of ironic how legendary this game is. It was so bad that no other game company wanted to make an official James Bond game since this one came out in 2012. During the absence of new Bond games, it was really the fans that took over. First, by establishing a really good emulator, which allowed for keyboard and mouse support, and even running at a nice 60 frames per second. I don't really care so much about frame rate, but apparently that's a standard a lot of people like to go for. And on top of that, there have even been games made, such as Goldfinger 64 and Tomorrow Never Dies 64. And then there was also Goldeneye Source. I remember the first time I ever saw it. I honestly cried a little bit because that is exactly what I wanted Goldeneye Wii to be. I just wanted it to be the regular game with modern graphics and modern controls. And maybe just a few little quality of life advancements as well, like increased frame rate, FOV sliders, stuff like that. And then I also have to make a note of that canceled Xbox 360 build. Well, what was left of it has been leaked to the public, and modders were able to fill in all the holes to create one cohesive experience. However, the legality is still questionable, and I'm not going to play it until I can be certain that the FBI isn't going to tear down my door because of it. So, that is my history lesson. Let's actually play this game. There we are. Certainly hope it's loud enough to be able to hear it. And you might actually see my mop of hair occasionally, depending on how much this thing reflects. So, let's get to it. There it is in all its glory. Although it is a little smaller, so to speak. I like how they squeezed in the screen to fit by the 4:3 aspect ratio, but this TV is already in a 4:3 aspect ratio. It's just me going over technical garbage. Figure let's just jump right into this. See, alright. For this playthrough, I'm just gonna do Secret Agent because I've played this through a little before and I'm not really too good with the controls. And on top of that, I kind of want this to be a bit of a quick video showing off the first few levels because I'm sure there's a lot of other YouTubers that have played the whole game now. This is just me putting my personal spin on it. Kind of surreal how it runs faster than the original, so the music cues are a little off. See if I can remember how to do this right. That joystick is still pretty sensitive. See if I can remember the old paintbrush trick. I wonder if it's even still in this game, so let me see if I... I think I messed it up. How do I go down? There we go. It's a lot easier to aim with the sniper rifle this way. The stick wasn't so getting sensitive. Oh, good headshot. Reload. Okay. There we go. One moment. Don't know what happened there. I guess my little converter wanted to take a break. Yes, I'm a bit more attuned to the actual N64 controls than these, and I do not have the official N64 controller. Just because money's a little tight, and this turned out to be a bit more expensive than I wanted it to be. If I can get a headshot on these guys. I wonder, is there a way to turn off the stick sensitivity? Or at least turn it lower, perhaps? Doesn't look like it. Not too bad. Haven't grown enough to the controls yet. After all, I've been playing the original for a very long time. And I feel like the trigger should be reversed. We're waiting for 7 minutes. We get a lot more meat to work with. It seems to be the best way to do it. That way I can zoom in, and I also get a pretty big ammo count from this. Okay. I got it. It's not an animation to see very often. Maybe that was the wrong button. This is a fun one. I love the sound effect of it. I'm trying to remember that I need to install the covert modem on this one. And I just did it destroy all the alarms. Alright. Good. Wrong button. There we go. So the trick to cycle backwards is still in place. Very nice. I will admit, the whole dual analog stick thing actually works out pretty nicely. I just wish the stick wasn't so sensitive. I get used to it after a little bit of time. I keep getting the reload and the switch button mixed up, unfortunately. it's safer. Accidental headshot. Okay. Now, it's not like I'm going for like the most accurate reading or the fastest. I'm just simply playing the game. Go ahead and jump. Crazy to think that's all you get from the movie is just that tiny little snippet. You just jump, and that's it. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get the best time on this thing. A lot of people say this is probably their favorite level of the game, and well, I'll agree it's a good one. It's not really my personal favorite, though. Now, let me see if I can do this proper and shoot this guy. Ah, yes. This one, there we go. Here we go. Get out of here. I think I'm getting this. No, I'm not. Oh no! Well, that could have been disastrous. Okay, so gonna go down. Staircase. Reload. Yes. Okay. Same button to open the doors. There we go. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm going to take that body armor because I'm sure I'm going to mess up something. Oh, good. At least they didn't shoot that computer, so that's good. Now they do start to get the hang of this a little bit. Just takes a wee bit to get used to. Alright. See if I can do this. So they do have a little popping in there. Confident than here. It looks like I'm honestly playing this game for the first time, doesn't it? So, where is Dr. Dark? Maybe he's up here. No. Know your role. Nope. Ha-ha. Keep moving. That sign won't stop me because I can't read. Props to anybody that actually knows that reference. Okay, well that could have gone a lot worse, I think. I just hope after all this effort, he's not going to be out in the open for me. That's always one of the worst things. And what makes speedrunning this level quite difficult. Oh, there you are. Time to leave, Dr. Oak. I need this Dakota to open the volume with Octopus 7. That's probably an awful Dr. Dope impression because, quite frankly, I don't know what he sounds like. I'll let him open the door for me. Thank you. So here's one of the fun little speedrunning tricks. You don't want to open the door, just shoot the window. I'll open it for you. Press the A button. I appear to be saying all right quite a fair bit. If anybody wants to make this into a YouTube game, take a shot every time I say it. But do it responsibly. What's that? I do not want to have any problems with my account over there. Fire. Yeah. And then if you press the start button, you get back out. There we go. Doing good. Can replace the remote lines now. Don't worry about it later. Remember the number incorrectly? There we go. Half of everything is luck. And the other half? I want to actually see this sort of cutscene. So I don't want to shoot any of the gut. Oh, actually, no. Put down your weapon. Surrender. Finish the job, James. Go down. 15 seconds. Yes, I do. Right. I'm going this way. This way. Probably one of the most fun ways of the game. That is, if you know what a tank is. I also love the music of this one. There's a fun Game Shark cheat a while ago that had it really distorted, so it almost sounded like techno. No offense, Kevin Hawk. No offense. It's funny, after enough time, you actually know whose faces each person is. Grenade time. Watch this. Here's a little bit of trivia. coincidence equals the angle of incidence. It's been a while since I last did physics. Let's try to pick the base a little bit. It's nice that you can use the C stick as the C button so you can move just a bit faster. Take care of any of the other problems. And that's it. It's wait. I gotta have fun with this level. It's time we crash them. Oh, come on, that's not the fun sound effect. There we go. Eventually you'll get people with cars falling. This would be taking a lot of damage. I kind of wonder why that plane is so dark and looks like it's going to be shot. I remember that was one of the big things whenever I played the game is there was always those last two notes at the end of the level. Very rarely would I ever hear them being played. But now I seem to be hearing them a fair bit more often. I think you gotta get a good time or something first. So this is the last level that I'm going to play. One of my personal favorites because I am just a sucker for snow levels. Although I will admit it does get me a little nervous when I start the level and I hear total silence. With the cartridge, it sounded like it just froze, and here, well, it sounded like my connection just dropped or something. Let's see if I can actually get some halfway decent sniping in this level. I see they kept those guard towers blank as before. I guess that makes sense. Alright, let's do this. Yes! Still got it. Famous bomb moves and all the other games that came out beforehand, but I like to think you exploding those barrels is kind of like the original bomb moment. I'm just gonna let the music do it for me. Probably the most infamous gun of the game. It's clobbering time. The snipers are out. Be careful. After all, I think the screams have been used in multiple other games along the way. Like the tank crush sound, for instance. I guess apparently that's also in Twisted Metal 3, if I'm not wrong. Let's see. Is that it? Just gotta shut down the communications here. It's because I'm aiming. It doesn't work too well. This isn't actually been making the cloud look good. This is always the thing to keep in mind, because this is Surface 1, I've got to shut down the dish and then destroy it. You know what? Let's get that guy on the roof. It always annoys me how he just kind of slowly walks around the outside without any attention on anything. Maybe try to follow me. Maybe this way. Like the sound effects of these doors. Yeah, let's see if I can do this properly. Maybe one shot. In this angle. Aim. I think I got it. Come on. Now I got some of it at least. Anyone else coming? There we go. That's how you go backwards, is you press the reload button and the fire. That's better with the sniper rifle. And jumped. And there we go. That is as far as I'm going to go for today. Perhaps in the future I'll be able to do a multiplayer review. In fact, that was one of the major reasons that I wanted to play this so bad, so I could play the online feature. As all the people I can have to play the original don't really want to go for it because the Nintendo 64 controller is intimidating and, well, I guess my skill level at the base game is as well. But anyway, that is Goldeneye for the Switch. Till next time, keep having fun.